Hi there, folks. Welcome to another episode of Michael in the Backyard. As you can see behind me here, I've got my 2011 Impala. I've had this car for well over a decade. I think I've had it for about at least 12 years so far. And it's been a real good car for me so far. It has 197,000 miles on it. And I've just recently had a little thing happen for the first time. And it comes and it goes. And I'm going to show you what it is. And so if you have this same issue, I'm going to show you how you can fix it yourself. I'm going to get in the car here. We're going to turn it on. Ignition key to on. And we're going to see this right here? It's a tire monitoring system. Service tire monitoring system. If we go in here, it'll tell you left front, no PSI, no PSI, no PSI. That's because I was playing around with it earlier. I did have all three. Yeah, I said three. Tires showing the proper pressure. The right rear has been giving me where it works. And then it goes to zero pressure like it just showed you there. And then it works. And then it goes to zero pressure. And I did have a slow leak. And I was putting air in it about every... Holy mercy, how long? About every 3 or 4 days, I was having to put some air in the right rear tire. And lo and behold, I knew I had something wrong because some days it wouldn't leak down at all. Some days it would leak down more. So I had suspected maybe the old TPMS sensor could have been an issue because, you know, they're old and their batteries are dying. And this is the right rear, the battery's dead. Or... could it be a self-tapping screw stuck in the tire? Head wore down. I drove it that way for about 3 weeks because I knew I had to get my shop cleared out because it's cold. It's all get out outside. And I didn't want to do this outside. But sure enough, took the tire off, rolled it around. Didn't even have to spray soapy water on it. Found that. Plugged it. Whoops. Plugged it with my tire tools. And there's going to be some people screaming at me, you can't plug a tire. Yes, you can. No, don't do it. Don't do what I do. This is for entertainment purposes only, okay? But if you decide to do it, beware. Enough said? All right. So now I want to pull this right rear tire back off. I've got the jack placed strategically under the car to get this tire off the ground, to do no damage under the car. I'm not going to tell you folks where the jack points are. You got to figure that out for yourself, because as soon as somebody says you did it wrong and they're going to hold me liable, stop it. Just stop it. Be responsible for your own actions out there, folks. Now what do we have here? A Bauer 1/2-inch drive brushless with a 5 amp hour battery. Buy the battery, get the tool for free. That was going on for a while. Don't know if it is. This thing has 3 level settings, which shows 1, 2, 3. Let's see if it works. Be the first time I've used this. Boom, shakalaka. Just eating it. It's like, give me more. I want another. Nice. That worked really well. Alrighty. So, let's just see if I can find that plug I put in. It was on the edge, like it was on the tread in a good spot. Right there. It's doing a great job. It's not leaking. This tire's been holding pressure ever since I did that. Now, what we're going to do, I got to replace this TPS sensor. TMS sensor, tire monitoring system sensor. TMSS, I don't know. We're gonna pull the old valve stem out of it to get the air out of it quickly. Now, I just had these tires put on about 5,000 miles ago, and then it was, you know, we took a trip down to South Carolina and back in the car, and lo and behold, this everything was working fine until this happened. Like I said, within the last month, it started giving me this fit, and it's funny because when I had the tires put on, the company that did it. This says right rear, they marked it. Previous time was right front. Now I'm going to tell you a little story. That's deflating. I'm going to tell you guys a little something. I rotated my previous set of tires once. Not saying that's recommended. They don't recommend that by a long shot. You should rotate your tires every time you get an oil change. Yep. Do as I say, not as I do. But these were 90,000 mile hand-cook radials. I've been a fan of these hand-cook radial tires. They're a 90,000 mile tire. I got 72,000 miles out of the last set. And honestly, I could have got a lot more. But in Iowa, you don't run your tires down to the wear bar, especially going into winter. You won't have enough traction in the snow. So 72,000 miles on a 90,000 mile set of tires, I could easily rotate it, and I rotated them at, what did I rotate them? Rotated them at 40,000 miles from front to back. Straight front to back. That's what I did, honest to goodness. And then they would have been due, honestly, to go back, put the backs back on the front and front back on the back. I just did front to back. I didn't go crisscross, applesauce, or anything like that. But they wore evenly. Now, I've had this car a long time. I've put a lot of miles on it. I watch my tires for wear. I watch them for air pressure. You always run the proper amount of pressure. Now, this is going to be a little lesson for everybody here. I'm going to drop some tire knowledge on you. Now, this is from my personal experience. Okay, you got a tire. And you got a tire. If you don't run the proper amount of pressure in a tire, let's say you run it underinflated. UI versus OI. Your underinflated tire will do this on you. This is an exaggerated view, but this will cause the outsides of your tire to wear down prematurely. Overinflated tire will do this. And it bulges out in the bottom. Too much pressure here, and you wear the centers out. This area here is going to wear versus here. Properly inflated tire wears evenly. It has enough pressure to push this middle down where it belongs and keep it down where it belongs, so you end up with this nice smooth wear pattern, so you're using all your tire evenly. Now, a lot of people don't think about that, but that's how it happens. That's how it works. You got to keep in mind, the only thing between you and a flat tire is air. Compressed air. And the proper amount of pressure can control your wear. Remember, the right air gives you the proper wear. Yeah, I just made that up. That's so stupid. So anyway, we've got all the air out of the tire. I've got my little tire, Harbor Freight tire machine right here. And we're going to get after breaking the bead. Now what we want to do is break the bead only on the side that has the valve stem. We're going to see how much of a wrestle this is. Since these are recently installed, I'm hoping the bead will break pretty easily. Okay, I'm going to need my leverage, I guess. The car's a little close to the action. There she goes. She just wanted to be a little stubborn today. Now I can use my tire machine to hold this down out of the way so I can get my valve stem out of there. I've only done this on 4 other tires in my entire life. If you guys watched my GMC terrain video, you would have saw me do it on it. This is the first time on my old Impala. I don't know what's the best way to get these out. Thought maybe I'd grab it with a vice grip and give her a little. I got this little puller tube here that'll screw on the end of the valve stem, so we'll put the valve stem up through here. I should be able to pull it right up in there, just like that. So now that we're back in position, I want to show you something. You'll see that these things are at an angle. You want to put it in so that when you pull it up in there, this side's toward the rim, toward the inside, so it hugs up tight against the tire. You don't want it sticking out like this and hanging out into the tire. Chances are, if you ever get your tires changed, they'll wreck it for you. Now we just need to get air back in it and pop the bead back on. I got my little handy dandy clip here. Pow! Love it. Now we're going to go ahead and air them up back up to 36 pounds. Now normally you carry 32 pounds of pressure in your tires. We're only at 10 right now. Now me personally, if I'm inside like this, it's 55 or warmer in my shop, I'm going to air it up to 36. And when I go out to the cold air, that's 20 degrees or lower right now, it'll drop easily 4 pounds of pressure. I'm going to spray a little soapy water around where that's seated in there. I just want to see if there's any bubbles. Looks like she sealed up really good. Didn't expect it not to. 32, getting there. We're sitting at 40 right now, and there's a reason for that. Let's put this tire back on. Wheel and tire back on. Then I'll show you why we're at where we're at right now. Now some of you might be asking, Michael, aren't you going to put Mirrorless on there? Well, I would, but I just did recently when I put the tire plug in. You don't want to over torque it with this. We're going to check it with the torque wrench. Now I've got a torque wrench that goes up to 250 pounds from 50 to 250. It is the Icon brand. Let's see how it did with the torque wrench. Just a little bit we did. And what I want to do is, I didn't want to tighten them to the spec with that. See how close that got me? And I always tighten it a crisscross pattern. And I'm going to 90 foot-pounds with these. Look up your car specification. Don't go off of what I'm telling you here. 3/4 inch socket. I'm going 90 foot-pounds. We're good. Now I haven't put the valve stem cap back on for a specific reason. Now I've got to retrain the tire monitoring system to know which corners the tires are on. So far, since mine was right rear, my right front was actually my right rear, my right rear was actually my right front, because the people that put my tire on never retrained this. You would think they would have if you were being thorough and doing what you should do. How do you know it was right? You're assuming that the car came in right? No, assume nothing. Now for this particular car, this doesn't work. It worked on a 2015 GMC Terrain to retrain the wheel sensors. It's just a little thing that sends a signal. You hold it next to the wheel sensor, it triggers the wheel sensor to do something, and then it sends something to the car, and the car goes, okay, I got that one. So what this does, when we go into training mode, and I'll show you the training mode we're going to do right now. We're going to turn the key to on. There's two different ways the Impalas seem to work so far that I've found. This little button here, a little car with the eye next to it for information. See, it's got the 98% oil life, English, tire pressure, tire pressure, tire pressure, tire pressure, and then here's where it would normally have a learn mode, and it would say hold it, push and hold this little check here to go into learn mode. My car doesn't have that menu option. So what you have to do, let's see if I can get over here and hold this so I can show you. You want to press the lock and unlock button simultaneously and hold them. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm holding them. And it honks twice, says learning active. Now normally, I would love to have that little orange tool do what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't seem to work on this particular vehicle. And I think it's because of the type of learn mode. If I put it here, normally it would go bonk, it would honk a horn. Once it honks that horn, it lets you know left front tire, and you always start left front tire, then right front tire, right rear, left rear. And where's my little, so I'm gonna take this little plunger on the back of my tire gauge. What you do is you let air out of the tire, and when this thing senses a tire air change, a significant tire, a change in tire, when this thing senses a significant change in tire pressure, it sends a signal to the computer. So we're gonna hold this in, and we're gonna wait for the car to honk once. It'll go honk, and you might have to let a lot of air out. And what you're doing is trying to get this tire sensor to send a signal out to go, hey, significant tire change pressure, tire pressure change, that's it. And that's why I wasn't getting too carried away with the right rear tire, because after I do all this, I got to reinflate to the proper pressure. You heard that? Honk. Now we're going to go to the right front tire. And you see how slack the tire currently looks. You have to let quite a bit of air out. Now if our brand new one's working properly, that we just installed in this wheel, it'll do the same thing. Now I'll leave a link in the description below. That one sent a signal a lot quicker. But I'll leave links in the description below for the components I used in this video. Now the difference on the last tire is it a honk, and then I think it's going to go honk honk to tell you that training is complete. And please don't forget to reinflate your tires to the proper pressure. Now I'm going to take all these tires up to 36 because I know when I roll outside It'll end up at 32. Da da da. I'm leaving this in real time so you get an idea how long you might have to let air out for. Because you could be going, well, this is taking forever. This can't be right. Well, honk, honk. Now, they're all retrained. Now, what you want to be careful of is locking yourself out of your car like I did. Because when I hit both buttons, when I had the door open, it actually locked the car. And then I shut the door. But I have my spare key. Now, I got right front tire, low, add air. Let's see what else. Left rear tire, add air. So it's gonna, right front 20, left rear 15, right rear 35. Yeah, right or left front 29, right front 20, 15, 35. So now they're all reading. I've still got the tire signal here because the tires are underinflated. So now let's add air to the tires. Now the noise you hear in the background is I'm using my jump pack / compressor to air up all my tires. I could use my compressor, but I have this, and the nice thing about it is I only have to plug it in once, because it shuts itself off when it hits the prescribed pressure I have on the, and it's easy, one and done. I've really come accustomed to having one of these. I actually have several of these air compressors available. All right, we've had success. Let me show you what we got here. So now when I turn my car on, I've inflated all the tires and I've put all the valve caps back on, and I pumped them all up to the same pressure with that JF Egwo tire pump or compressor. Now let's go ahead and see what we got here. English, left front 34, right front 35, left rear 35, right rear 35. And as you can see here, there's no tire monitor on the dash. Success! So, other than locking myself out of my car and having to go into the house and get my key, my spare key, it was relatively easy. Now, is this for everybody to do? No. But, I'm hoping this gives you enough information that if you go somewhere to get your car done, to not get taken for a ride. Now, one place I went to, now I read reviews. I read lots and lots of reviews on these, and I'll leave a link to the one I bought for this particular car. But what I'm going to suggest is you go in and you look, and I got those off Amazon. There'll be affiliate links to this stuff so it can take you there, so you can get the product that I bought if you've got the exact same 2011 Impala. If you do not, I suggest, now they claim these things are good for GMs from 2006 to 2015. Obviously, it works on my car. And the same ones worked on a 2015 GMC Terrain that I did. But the tire place where I get my tires, I asked them about those tire TMS pieces, and they wanted $100 a piece for them. $100 a piece. I'm like, can't do it. Can't do it. Now, I read a lot of reviews on these, and they said, some of them said 1 year later, still functioning properly. So read the reviews. I can't stress that enough, because I read a lot of reviews that says, put these in, a month later they quit working. I put these in, 2 weeks later they quit working. Well, some of these people are selling some of them that I heard, I don't know this for a fact, but from what I read, that they're buying up surplus from places that are getting rid of them because their battery life only has a certain amount of shelf life, and that's it. And then once that shelf life is expired, they get rid of them because they might not last very long in your car. So now some of you might be asking, well, why don't you just do all 4 tires while you're in here? I normally would do something like that, but the other 3 haven't given me an inkling of a problem yet. And if it does, I'll pull it back in here and do that tire and run through the whole process again. But I'll give you an update whenever I have to do the next one. It could be a couple of months. It could be a couple of years. I'm really willing to risk it and not spend my day doing all of them today. But now all my tire monitoring system is working. I can make sure my tires are properly inflated. I won't have any of that, what we did on the whiteboard over there. Any underinflation, overinflation problems that's going to cause excessive tire wear. And I think the way I've been doing it on this, I've went through several sets of tires on this car. Actually 2 sets. I bought this car with 52,000 miles. And when those tires wore out, I put a set of Douglas tires on it and ran it for a year. And I could not keep air in the tire on them Douglas tires. I don't know if it was the bead leaking. And they tried putting some sealer around it. I just don't think the rubber around the bead was good quality rubber on those Douglas tires. And I believe, don't quote me on this, I think Douglas was made by Dunlop. It's one of their offshoots or something. But so I went to my local guy that's within 7 miles of me and said, I'm tired of these Douglas tires. I sold them to somebody else, and I told them exactly what they were doing, because there again, they were like a 60,000 mile tire, and I only had about 10,000 miles on them. They had a lot of tread left. They worked really good in the snow and ice, but they just couldn't hold air. Went to these hand cooks, last set. Only time I touched the air to them is in spring and fall when I made some air adjustments due to the climate change. So far, the only problem I've had with these is I had a nail. That's not the tire's fault. And I had a TPS sensor, or TMS sensor. That's not the tire's fault. And here again, my goal is I drive things till the wheels fall off, and then I put the wheels back on and I drive it some more. That's just how I roll. I get the goodie out of the goodie. All right, folks, I hope you guys found this video informative and helpful. There are hundreds and hundreds of videos on TMS systems, how to do them. This is mine. And I hope I've not only showed you how to do it a little bit, but why you should do it. And you can pick and choose whether you want to do it or not. The tire machine definitely helps. Yes, I've seen people take 2x6s and take another vehicle and run a 2x6 up onto the tire and peel that tire off the rim. You got to be careful. You don't want to damage your tire. You don't want to damage that sidewall and then cause yourself other problems. That's where this tire, little $60 at the time Harbor Freight, this thing has paid for itself many times over, just from the fact that I can do it in my own shop. Then I can also do my own trailer tires, and I have lots of trailers, and I can do all my own trailer tires and save myself some headache of going somewhere, relying on somebody else to do it for me, and then it's just the way I roll. Now, car tires, I don't usually deal with a whole lot, just for the simple fact, they need to be balanced. In this situation, since I only broke the bead on one side, I didn't rotate the tire inside the rim at all, I don't have to worry about the balance problem, because it's going to remain balanced as it was when I had the tires put on. This is Michael saying, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is, and you better be good to one another out there. I'm counting on it, folks. We need to bring the level up in society. Be good to one another, treat each other kind, help out a fellow person. I carry this jump pack and this air compressor not only for myself, but also so I can help others without damaging my own property, because jumper cables should be a thing of the past. With all the modern cars and the modern computers, don't jump another person's car with jumper cables. You could do damage to your own car because you don't know what's wrong with their car. But get yourself a jump pack. I've been pushing the brand that I have. I won't even mention it again. The brand I have, but for some reason they've done me good. JF Egwo is the brand. They no longer sell on Amazon. They only sell from their website. So I'll leave a link, because they have sponsored a few videos of mine. I will leave a link below to their website. So if you want to go get what I've been using, go get it. The 3000 amp, the 3500, the 6000, the 4850 or something. They got all kinds. Pick your poison. They're all seem to be of decent quality. I've got 4 or 5 of them around the property. I use them. I got them in cars. I got them in boats. I got them in. They're just handy to have. All right. Enough said. I gotta get on to the next project, and I'm not sure what it's going to be. It might be this. Now, I gave you guys a teaser. We ain't done yet, okay? Just hang in there another minute. But I've got one of these. Get a good look at it here. I had somebody, I said, guess. What's that say? CID. It's got some neat casting marks in here. I don't know. This has got an arrow pointing to a D. Is that daytime versus nighttime? Was this 6 at night? Or 6 in the day? I don't know. It's got some interesting casting numbers. It looks like that says heater. Casted right in the bottom. That's the heater. And, but yeah, it's a neat old flat 6 in a project I'm going to be working on. My project, my project vehicle. Here's the other side of it. Give you a good view of it. Had somebody guess Model A from the 50s. Yeah, they said Model T from the 30s or 40s. No, 40s. Yeah, 30s or 40s. It's not that. Not sure that Model Ts had any 6 cylinders in them. They were flatheads. They were 4 cylinders. Maybe the truck engines. Maybe they did have a 6-cylinder truck. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Fords of those years. All I know is what I have and what I'll be working on. So you guys want to venture a guess as to what that engine's out of, and leave the comments down below. So that's coming up. That's something I'm going to go tear all the way down. I've got the whole vehicle out in my shed on my car trailer to bring in here, but I want to go through the engine first and make sure the engine is where it needs to be. Then I'll leave it on the engine stand and park it over here. Then I'll bring the rest of the vehicle in here, and I'm going to start putting it back together. I'm going to tear it down, and I'm going to put it back together to the best of my abilities. The nice thing is on that particular one, it's coming soon. I've got the actual manual from the era. I don't want to give it away for the year, but it's for the decade and the vehicle itself. It's the actual service manual that they would have had at the dealership to work on these. So I'm not going to tell you what breed it is. I will tell you it's American made. All right, folks. Have a good one. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you on the next video. I'm out. All right, folks, if you hung out this long, thank you very much. This is obviously after I said thank you for watching, but I wanted to report out a week later the tire pressure sensor monitor that I put in the right rear tire working perfectly. The plug, if you guys had your doubts about plugs, holding perfectly. I got 34, 34, 34, 34 on all 4 tires. It's nice to have it fixed and seeing that little yellow tire light gone that I've been tolerating for about a month, on and off. Alrighty, sneak preview. Next week's video is going to be about this guy. I've had one video on it so far. We're calling that part 1. 2005 Harley Davidson Road Glide with a stuck engine. We're going to tear that apart next week. The jugs are coming, the tank's coming off, the head's coming off, the jugs are coming off. We're going to take a closer look at what I got to do to bring this one back around and get it on the road again. Thanks again for watching.